NVIDIA, I'm looking at it right now, a monster. The stock is a monster. It's pushing on 300 bucks, up more than 12% right now, Josh Brown.
It's up the same amount as Qualcomm, and they didn't even have to report earnings, so that's cool. I've run out of superlatives for the NVIDIA story. A big price target upgrade, it looks like this morning. Wells Fargo talking about 320. Market cap is now 740 billion. To me, like all the talk about Metaverse and whatever, you can't render any of the graphics required to live this fake second life you're so excited about if you don't have GPUs from NVIDIA. Like, that's the bottom line. And I've been talking about this for 5 years before Zuckerberg, and I really do believe this has a shot. I know it's a stretch right this minute, but it has a shot at some point in the 2020s truly joining the FANG names at a possible $1 trillion market cap. Of course, a lot could go wrong too. So I say that with all humility, but I really believe that when you look at the markets they're in and the dominance they have in these markets, like it's one of these names that really could be there at some point. So I'm really excited about it, and I stick with it. I recognize not every day is going to be as good as today. I could take the downs with the ups too.
It makes me, Jenny, want to talk about tech in general coming off of the Fed decision yesterday and the fact that yet again we have the NAS and the NASDAQ 100 setting new record highs. And you have, your tech exposure I would characterize as mostly value tech or, old tech, or however you want to really characterize that. Being to IBM and Cisco, frankly, I'm surprised. It's Intel. I'm surprised you don't own Qualcomm. It seems to be your wheelhouse too. That the kind of name that you would. What's your view here on the back of these conversations we've had about some pretty high-flying names?
I think it's kind of in the same way that I think of FANG, which is it's time to stop painting them all as one. So in our old school boring tech, whatever you want to call it, we own AMAT, Cisco, Palo Alto, Teradyne. We also own IBM, Intel, VMware, Taiwan Semi. So some of those are up 65, 40, 30%. Some of them are up 1, 4, and 12%. I think it's really important to look at each individual company on its own merits, not try to lump them together, because I'm not sure we're in an environment where you can lump or broad brush paint the way we have been able to. I think it really is a stock picker's market. One quick note, I used to own Qualcomm, and I loved it, and it killed me to sell it, but that gets into the sell discipline, too. I had bought it on the announcement of Brexit at like $53 a share, and then sold it just about a year ago at $128. So, I had to sell it. It didn't make the dividend hurdle anymore. It became too expensive for what I needed it to work for. I sold it and repurposed it. But I have been envious of Jim today, particularly seeing the investment thesis continue to play out and work. I think that the value tech, if that's what we want to call it, I think it will work better than the really hot tech, the DocuSigns, the Pelotons, the Pinterests, the Etsy's. I think it'll work better on average in the year going forward, because there's just a lot of cash flow and value there. And like I keep saying, I think it's going to be harder to make money. And when it's harder to make money, cash flow starts to count a lot more.